Good afternoon, and thanks for having us in. Sioux Falls police are seeing more aggravated assaults, but domestic assaults are down from a year ago. The city has also seen fewer rapes and homicides compared to last year, but the number of stolen vehicles continues to rise. These are just a couple of the findings from the latest Sioux Falls crime report. We'll take a closer look at the trends and numbers later tonight on KELOLAND News. A 41-year-old man was killed in a crash after hitting a deer on Interstate 90. According to the South Dakota Department of Public Safety, the man was driving between the Brandon and Veterans Parkway exits on I-90 when he swerved toward the median to avoid hitting a deer. The deer crashed into the passenger side of the car, causing the driver to lose control of the car and enter the ditch where the car rolled. The driver was thrown from the car. The crash remains under investigation. Pivoting to weather, we do have some chances for rain before too long, don't we, Adam?
Yeah, and honestly, it's about time. It's been pretty dry as of late, and we're going to try and flip the script a little bit as we head later in the week and get those chances for rain in place. But there's a little more to it than just rain. We'll talk about that in a moment. For now, though, it's a gorgeous afternoon in Sioux Falls. There is Falls Park, 79 at the airport, a southeasterly breeze, nice and light at 7 miles per hour. It is a wonderful afternoon to get outside if you have the chance to do so. And because why not? Terry Peak, 68 degrees with a north wind at 10 miles per hour. It's only going to be a matter of time before we start to talk about the potential to see something other than rain in the highest elevations of the hills. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just going to put that out there. October is less than 2 weeks away, and that can be known to happen. 80 in Watertown, 81 for Huron, 79 at the Capitol, 84 in Rapid City, 80 also in Aberdeen, but 91 the outlier and really the overachiever in winter currently, but more 90s on the way for a couple of areas today, due in part to the lack of cloud cover, not to mention that southerly breeze. Now, we do have a little something trying to make its presence known, and I do mean a little something at south and west of Mobridge, trying to at least get a couple of little isolated sprinkles out that way, but little, if any of that, is actually going to make its way to the ground. We do have a pretty dry air mass in place overall. Beyond that, there just isn't a whole lot of anything going on. That's the local view. Here's the regional view. Yes, we do have some features out there, a warm front to the east, a cold front to the west, and we just don't have really much of any moisture to work with. Typically, this would be ideal for some showers and thunderstorms to pop up, but beyond those little sprinkles up in north central South Dakota, we don't have much of anything else to go on. So for the rest of your day, pretty quiet in southeastern KELOLAND with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s and a light southerly breeze to go right along with it. To the northeast, more of the same, either side of 90, plenty of sunshine and a light breeze out of the southwest. Once we head west river, though, we do have a few changes, 80s and low 90s in central and west central South Dakota, but toward the borders of Wyoming and Montana, marginally cooler and a little on the breezy side as well. We'll talk about the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Adam. Sioux Empire United Way is kicking off its 94th campaign season with a week of events to encourage people to get involved in its mission. The organization hopes to raise more than $9.4 million through its annual giving campaign to help support 75 programs across 34 nonprofits. Today, the Sioux Empire United Way Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers delivered donuts to their partner agencies.
We love today because we're delivering donuts to our partner agencies, the ones who are running the programs, the ones who are offering those services, the ones that we partnered in this community and said, you're making a difference, you're making an impact, thank you for being our partner.
The campaign is supported by 600 local businesses and 16,000 individuals. We'll tell you how Flyboy Donuts is helping give back tonight on KELOLAND News. 5 Americans finally landed on American soil after being wrongfully detained in Iran. Following months of secret diplomatic talks, Iran released the Americans this week in exchange. President Joe Biden granted 5 Iranian nationals clemency, as well as unfreezing nearly $6 billion in oil revenue for the Islamic Republic. The move has drawn criticism from some lawmakers on Capitol Hill. The group includes 2 businessmen, an environmentalist, and 2 others who want to be anonymous. From the war in Ukraine to climate change, Biden laid out his foreign policy platform in front of world leaders this morning at the United Nations General Assembly. Michael George reports from the UN, where Ukraine's embattled president is making his first visit since the start of Russia's invasion.
Help take on the challenges of their time.
President Biden called out Russia's war with Ukraine as a blatant violation of the UN Charter as he addressed the United Nations General Assembly Tuesday.
If you allow Ukraine to be carved up, is the independence of any nation secure? I'd respectfully suggest the answer is no.
The president also outlined the United States' vision to solve other global challenges, including climate change.
My administration, the United States, has treated this crisis as an existential threat from the moment we took office.
Unusual this year, President Biden is the only leader from the 5 nations with permanent seats on the powerful UN Security Council to address the assembly. The heads of China, Russia, France, and Britain all decided to skip the event this year. Their absence comes as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky makes his first in-person visit to the global gathering since Russia's invasion began. In an interview on 60 Minutes ahead of his speech, he argued the Russians will invade other countries unless they're defeated in Ukraine.
If the Russians reach Poland, what's next? A third world war?
Zelensky is set to visit the White House and Capitol Hill later this week as Congress weighs Biden's request for an additional $24 billion in aid for Ukraine. Michael George, CBS News, the United Nations.
While in New York, President Biden will also meet with an Israeli prime minister whose government he has slammed as, quote, extreme.